Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Moniz, and this is the Dell Inspiron 7000, the world's first 17-inch convertible laptop. If you've been on the fence about buying a convertible but wanted a bigger size, now's your chance. I reviewed the 15-inch version back in December 2015, and there are a few key differences. With the 17-inch version, you get better battery life, a dedicated GPU, and the option to have 2 hard drives instead of 1. So is bigger better? Let's find out. Most people who buy this will probably be replacing an old desktop. The lid and deck is made out of all aluminum with brush strokes spanning horizontally, while the bottom is a plain dark gray with the words Inspiron directly in the center. It's a really nice looking laptop, and even though it looks big, it's actually a decent weight at 6.12 pounds. I mean, I wouldn't be carrying this thing everywhere I go, but if I had to every once in a while, it wouldn't be that bad. In terms of ports, on the left you have your power connector, a USB Type-C port that can also be used to attach a display or charge your laptop, an HDMI port, a USB 3.0 port, and a headphone jack. On the right there's a Noble Lock, USB 2.0 port, full-size SD card slot, volume rocker, and power button. Opening it up was quite easy with only 12 screws to take out, but the good news is that main stuff is all upgradable. On the back you have one fan with a heat pipe in the middle. To the top right there's 2 RAM slots, both are upgradable. The 128GB M2 SSD that's made by Toshiba sits just below the fan. The read speeds were good, averaging around 500 megabytes per second, but the write speeds were quite poor, only averaging 140. It's definitely not one of the better SSD drives out there. The second 1TB hard drive is 5400 RPMs. I'm surprised companies are still putting them in consumer laptops. 7200 should be the standard. Either way, it was averaging read speeds of 113 megabytes a second, which is good, and write speeds of 111. Finally, the battery is towards the front, it's 54 watt hours and can be replaced. Now there's 4 configurations to choose from. The main differences between all of them are RAM and HD choices and whether you want a dual-core i5 or i7 CPU. My review unit is the second most expensive one and comes with an Intel dual-core i7 6500U processor, 16GB of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 940MX GPU, one 128GB SSD, plus a 1TB 5400 RPM hard drive. And there's also a full HD touch display. My unit retails for $1150 US or $1,400 Canadian. My suggestion is to buy the entry-level model with the i5 processor and add your own SSD drive. The display is full HD with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. The screen is glossy, so it's better for indoor use, but there's minimal color shifting when viewed at different angles, and the color reproduction is fantastic. The colors stood out, look accurate, and if you're planning on using this mostly for watching movies, you'll love the combination of the big screen and vivid colors. Brightness levels were high. In fact, it's brighter than my Dell XPS 15, but not as bright as the HP Spectre. The hinges that rotate the screen are nice and stiff, so flipping it to a different position feels sturdy. The front-facing camera is 720p with a fairly wide field of view. However, if you look close enough, you'll see a second camera beside it. That's an infrared camera and it's used for Windows Hello facial recognition to log into your computer. The HD camera shows a lot of noise and I end up looking fuzzy most of the time. If you're making the odd Skype call, it's fine, but if video conferencing is part of your daily job, you might want to consider a different laptop. The deck of the 7000 is huge, so there's plenty of space to rest your palms comfortably. The keyboard is full size with a numeric keypad. The keys feel like rubber, which is fine, but they're a little too spaced out. With such a large deck to work with, I feel the keys could be a little closer together and possibly bigger. The travel distance is 1.3 millimeters below the 1.5 I like to have, but because they stiffen out at the bottom, they felt comfortable to type on. There's 2 levels of backlighting to choose from and little to no keyboard flex. Just below lies the spacious touchpad with lots of rooms to move your fingers around. It's not made out of glass, but surprisingly does a great job with accuracy. It feels a little rough to the touch, but it registered my movements fine along with any touch-related gestures. So here's the thing, good audio is tough to do with laptops getting smaller, but the 7000 packs pretty good speakers. There's 2 of them located on the bottom. The placement is not ideal, but surprisingly they pack a punch. My studio is about 150 square feet and has no problem filling up the entire room with sound. Now, since they are on the bottom, there is a little bit of echo, but Dell has their own music profiler. You can switch it between music, gaming, voice, movies, and a max sense preset. I found the max sense preset to be the best one. There's a bit of bass, which is nice. The mids are clear, but the highs are a tad muted. So the 7000 is still mostly a device designed for productivity tasks and viewing media. It can handle multiple Chrome tabs, working in Google Docs, and Microsoft Office. But because it has a GTX 940MX dedicated GPU, it has a little more horsepower than the typical laptop using an integrated graphics chip. You can do some light editing in Photoshop and play older games without any issues. CSGO, World of Warcraft, and League of Legends all run fine. I tried Overwatch for the heck of it, and you really have to lower the settings in order to attain playable frame rates. It's not a gaming laptop, but it can handle the odd game. Now for the heat test, I did two things. I ran a stress test in the background and loaded up Overwatch. It was pretty much running under full load. It peaked temperatures of 40 to 45 degrees Celsius on the top of the keyboard, while the back hit 50 degrees near the vent. The good news is that the deck stayed cool the entire time, which means your palms won't feel uncomfortable. The battery inside is 54 watt hours, and you figure with a massive display like this one, it would die pretty quickly. But if you don't play games and just browse the web or watch movies, you can pull off 7 to 8 hours of use before needing a charge. If you play games and the 940MX kicks in, expect shorter battery life, averaging around 4 to 5 hours. Overall, it does a good job considering its size. Alright, so here are my closing thoughts. The 7000 is a big laptop aimed towards consumers who are looking for a desktop replacement, but still want something portable enough that they can move around the house or from room to room. The versatility of being able to rotate the screen 360 degrees fills a few roles that a family might find attractive. You got movie mode for watching movies, laptop mode for productivity tasks, and tablet for sitting on the couch and browsing the web. The design is attractive, battery life is great, and performance is better than your typical Ultrabook. Now here's the thing, there are a couple of minor complaints, and again, these are very minor about this laptop. The front-facing camera and the keyboard could have been designed a little bit better, and I feel they should have used a 7200 RPM hard drive instead of 5400. But overall, if you've been waiting for a 17-inch convertible, this is a great choice. And for now, it's your only choice. So what do you guys think of the Dell Inspiron 7000? Let me know in the comments below. Is this something you can see yourself buying? And if you have one already, let me know what you like or dislike about it. I want to thank everyone out there for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video.